Alright, Scott, so here I am. This is a foundation here. It's a light one. I think it's Cinema Secrets brand. This is kind of like an ivory or geisha type. This is just about alcohol. Then this is a benai. It's kind of a maroon, red, deep red kind of cream color. Over here is what's called a Graftobian color stack. It's got different shades of brown from a light beige or flesh tone, dark brown, medium brown, and a black. Then here I have a cream. You can also make that cream with yellow and white, just a tiny bit of yellow and white. There's a black pencil. Then I got some neutral set powder puff. These are tongue depressors here. You could use a plastic knife, butter knife, popsicle stick, anal probe, whatever. Then I got brushes, 3 different sizes. This is a small one. It's a round, kind of pointy one. This is like a number 5 benai type brush I told you about, and this is like a number 7 size. They're synthetic brushes. These are just some lids for some deli cups. You can use something like that, a CD case, an old CD. It's just to mix the makeup on, because it's better if you scrape it out and stir it up. I have 2 of those. And then I got makeup sponge. So the whole setup, ooh, I wonder if I can zoom out. Whole setup looks like that. And then I'm going to show myself working on there. The makeup doesn't really matter, man. It's just, you know, the colors. So I'll show you. It doesn't matter what brand you buy or if you buy it all in one container or not. All right, take care. Hey, Scott. So I'm getting ready to start. I'm going to take a little bit of moisturizer, just a tiny bit, put on my face. It does 2 things. It makes the makeup smooth on a little bit easier, and helps protect my skin a little bit. Okay, there we go. So I already stirred up the makeup on here. That's a foundation. So the easy part now is just to take a makeup sponge and apply. Notice it's pretty light, lighter than my skin tone. This will work for both you kids. You don't have to cake it on thick so it's opaque. It can be thin, so some of your natural skin tone shows through. Go right over your lips, whole eye, eyebrow, forehead. Into the ear. Hairline, neck, we're going to blend that down. You don't have to be crazy about the neck because it's good if it's darker than your face. Now I'm just going to, get the hairline up there. Now I'm just going to even it out a little bit just by tapping here and there, stippling. Put a little bit more makeup on if I need any other areas. I'm just going to stipple it so there's no lines from the makeup sponge. The nose. I can use a little more right here where it's a little too red. And that didn't take much makeup at all. So that gets me pale. I'm kind of undead looking already. So the next thing we want is our main shadows. And we want to accentuate the skull. So that's the temple bone, the cheekbone, the jawbone, nose, and the orbits of the eye. I like a medium-sized brush. It's like a number 5, I think, about that. I'm going to use a dark brown color. Let's see, it's like that dark brown. And I'm going to use a stick here. I'm just going to scrape some of this off. And I'm going to use this here. And just kind of stir it up. By stirring it, let me see if I can show you how to stir it up by my face. By stirring it, it makes the makeup softer, and it makes it easier to apply. A little bit of liquid in there. Stir, mashing it. It's called warming the makeup up. Something I learned, and it helps quite a bit. So now I want this makeup on my brush. And so I got the makeup on my brush. Then you want to start in the areas you want darkest first. So I can start under the eye, because I know I want that dark. And then the front of the eye, right there, I know I want that dark. I want my temple bone dark, so I'm looking at my temple bone. So it's basically right in here. And I want that dark. I want, check it under my cheek, I want under my cheek dark. I know I want under my jaw dark. Other areas I might want dark, maybe my nasolabial fold. Why not? And some brown lines. And some scalp lines. And then while I'm at it, to accentuate the brow, I'm looking at this meaty part here. I'm just gonna do a little of this, and do a little of that. Now I'm just gonna copy what I did on this side. Now I'm running out of makeup on there, so I have to put a little more on. Oh, I said more on. Now you also notice I'm using the side of the brush for finer lines. It's wide on one side, but if you turn it sideways, it's small. And then under the chin there. Oh. Now I'm actually using under my neck, not only as a shadow area, but to actually wipe some of the makeup off the brush. And I'm doing that so now I can blend. Now I want to take into the eye and blend. So I want to sink my eye back a little bit. Now I'm going a little lighter. Same thing with the, I'll just get up in here, like that. I'll blend this a little bit. I'll even, sideways right there, a little more of a scowl mark. And I can even bring this down the side of the nose. Now I'm using a very light touch. Very light, just kind of going on the side of the nose there to blend it away. See how that slightly blends there? Now same thing here, I want to blend this up into the hairline. And the cheek. I did this line here, I didn't do it over here. Let me do it over there. Now notice I'm going just to the top of the line. I'm not going above it. And I'm just pulling down. And I'm even going to do a little of this here. Why you say? I don't know, it's kind of cool. And I'm very lightly touching this. Kind of like working with oil paints. And I'm going back, and you see how this is blending even more into the foundation. Also, sometimes you know that whole zombie thing and the nose sinking in. Go ahead and do that on me. Keep that nose down. And then I'm going to go with my natural eye bag. I'll get in my nostril. In there. Kind of looking ghoulish. Now I'm just going to pull up some weird kind of lines here. And then here, I'm doing this forward. See what that does there. I'm actually going to put that down so I can use my hand. Now so far I'm just using the same brush over and over again. You could switch to the, I probably should have switched to the larger brush for blending. And I'll do that now. I'll switch. So now there's no color on this brush. It makes blending a little easier. I should have done that in the beginning. Here. know if you can see that or not. Can you see that? A little bit? Okay. Now I'm just going to do some creative striations going across like that, and like that. Holding color. You see how I do it on this side too. From here, putting the brush kind of sideways. Right. There's a neat kind of look to it. Blend it up, blend it up. Now one thing I'm going to do here is I'm also going to look, turn my head there and see this tendon. I get the shadow of that tendon. So I'm going to use that anatomy. So that'll make it just a little more interesting than just having a dark neck. There's actually something there to look at. Missed it there, oh well. Okay, spray anatomies off. Give myself a little cleft chin. Hey, always wanted one. Alright. And I'll blend this cheek down. I'm going to put that thing up there on the side that I did on the other one. Now this one's not as dark, so I can go back in with this for the color, and I can just add a little more color onto it. Add a couple of those guys in there for fun. And I was too lazy to switch brushes, so I just went in with the 5 right there. And I'll do a scowl line up on that side. And a little shadow here. So, let's get this side of the nose. A little bit there. And my eye bag. A little bit on the chin there. No, I'm just going to put a line there for the hell of it. So now I'm kind of ghoulish, kind of undead. There's lots of other things to do here, and I'm going to go in. I'm going to use a red for some additional color. And I'm going to clean off my number 5 brush with a paper towel. I'm just going to wipe it off. Same thing with the red. I'm going to take the other end of this stick here. I'm going to take this red, and I'm just going to use that and mush it up on that. Because this looks a little monochromatic right now. It's going to look better if I put a little red in there. It's going to give me a little more depth, a little more character. So I'm coming into the eye, lining the eye with it. In the center of the eye. And I'll come out there. Same thing on this side. A little red. It's blending in with the brown, and that's fine. That's what I want. Because I don't want straight bright red. I want that muted tone. It's going to look a little more dark and sinister. Being mixed with the brown than if it was straight. And something about red around the eyes always makes people look a little sicker. Now I'm going to take the same red and I'm just going to put it in spots. Not everywhere, kind of here and there. happy there. Now, on the cheek, let's see, let's go ahead and throw something. Let's see what we do on the other side. Right up there. And I'm going to do some dots here. Those kind of dots. Into the hairline. Some speckles. And coming out of the nose. I'm going to do a little more on one side than the other. And then around the nose here. Now I'm going to put some right up in there. And move this one right here, kind of like that. And a little over there. And I'm just going to darken this area here, just with some red. Now you can always see that red has a little more of an angry kind of ghoulish look to it. And I'm just going to tap here with some dots. And here with some dots. And some dots. It's kind of cool because it blends, it doesn't have to be perfect. I didn't like that, so I just took that away. You can always go back if you need to here. With a little foundation. Go over the top. What happened was my brush wasn't clean enough. Had too much brown on it. So now I'm going to go back with a little just straight red. Come back in. And I'm just doing dots. For color. Okay. Now, actually I didn't do anything with the lips yet. Let's do some brown on the lips. I like to, I'm going to use that same brush one now. And I'm just going to kind of make them nondescript. You don't want really pretty lips. You do want them to stand out. All of my nostrils darker and nastier. Ooh, too bad, gross. I'll put some dots around right on the end of the nose like it's kind of rotting. Ah. Cool, that's pretty cool. I'm kind of digging that. So now that's only the foundation, a red, and a brown. We can do more red. I like more red. I'm going to go into this larger brush that I'm going to use it, and I'm going to go onto the neck. And I'm going to go right inside there, and there, and there, and here, and here, and there. We'll even go in there. A little bit. And I'll blend that now in with the brown. And now I'm just taking the brush kind of sideways and going across those lines. Kind of following it. And I want to make that a little more defined, especially on this side. Okay, didn't do it enough, so I'm going with the brown again. Right here. Right here. Right here. Can you see that? Showing up? And I'll just do dots. Dots. Now, I'm just wiping the brush. Oops. And I'm going to go sideways with it to get some lines. Like to break up. Did already. I'll do some more lines. Now one thing I'm looking at my orbits, my eyes aren't standing out enough for me. And I'm going to change that by going in with my black. Well, actually, let's do it with the brown, it's safer. I'm going to take my number 5 brush again and go in with my brown. Now what I'm going to do is define the outside of the orbit here. Can you see? Mm-hmm. Okay. I'll come down. I'm going to do a hard line. My hand is in oil now. I'm going to do a hard line right there. See that? Hard line. Hopefully you can see that. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. This is just for more character. Come here. I'm going to do a hard line like that. You see that change? Okay. I'll blend it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another line under that, but I'm going to wipe off the brush a little bit and sharpen up the edge. I'm going to use this and I'm going to come here on sideways. You can see that there. Right under the eye, about like a 1/4 inch. Pull it out. Do it here, under the eye. About like that. And now I'm going to come back with this bigger brush, this number 7 brush. I'm just going to blend that. Right there. And that's going to give me a little bit more of a skeletal look. Make those eyes pop a little bit more. Okay, I'm liking that. I want some more red around the eyes. Just goes on that way, so I'm going to come in here. Right up here. Right up here. And then I'll even pull some down here. A little more of that blending. I'll throw another scale mark right there. Another one there. I'm mad. I'm real mad. And then a little red in the corners. The mouth is going to wear off pretty quick on you. And then I'll do some more red spots. More red spots. Red spots. And I'm going to do some brown spots. Just using the makeup that's already on there, just some dots and spots. Making it a little darker on that side now. If you want to blend it, you can. It looks kind of cool when it's a little more stark, more theatrical-like. And see how those rings really make the eyes pop a little now? So now you can go in with the black, or with a brush, or with a pencil. You probably have a pencil already. So what I'm going to suggest is any areas where are really dark, you just go in with a black like that. I'm going to do it in a couple spots. Go under the eye. And then line the eye. Here's so cold. That really darkens it up right there. I can even come here where that dark brown was. Really catch that, so I've got more of that. I can come in here. That scale mark, make that really dark. And down there, I can come in here. And do some other stuff. See, that just makes things deeper. I'm just going to color in the corner of the eye to make it really dark. Alright. So we got all this. I'd like to add some highlight. So for the highlight, I really need to clean off this brush. It's really nasty. You can wash it in soap and water, or you can take a little moisturizer and use that to wipe it down. I'll go ahead and just use some soap and water since I got it here. Washing my brush. Yeah, I'm washing my brush. Gonna hip off. Stop it. Oh, no problem, yeah. Okay, then you get to see me washing my brush. Alright, so I wash my brush in a little soap and water. Ooh, it's clean. Now I'm going to use a little highlight, which is this cream kind of yellow color. Wow, my hands are wet, I can't open it. Katie's going to open it. Cool. So then I'm going to take another stick, scoop some of this out. Like I said, you can take a little white and some yellow and just mix that together. Okay. Then I'm just going to use this, dry off the brush a little bit. Now, I only want little dots of this color. What this is going to do is this is going to make your skin look kind of sickly, like it doesn't already. But it'll add another dimension and some highlights. And I'm working off this little palette, but I'm doing little dots kind of in between where the red dots are. And I'm picking areas, I'm basically highlighting. But I'm doing it with dots and not being smooth about it. And this is going to give a more sickly look. Now I will touch them to blend them off a little bit. And have hard edges.
We are what you are, looking off the flag. We are what you will be.
And go into the lips a little bit. More highlight on the scalp. And here I'll even go into the forehead here and just throw some dots in, because it's kind of for like a mottled, diseased kind of skin look. And you see how that softened up the brow? And it kind of makes it look like all one. I'll go through and I'm just kind of blending by tapping them. Going back over them. Now I'm going to take a look and see if there's anywhere else I want. I want a little more weight on the cheeks. Just on the cheeks here. So I clean my brush off by wiping it on a paper towel. And I just want to highlight a little bit more right on the cheek going back. And over here on the cheek. Going back. Just tap that. And that's a pretty cool undid makeup. And if you want to, you can highlight a little bit here, there, here, and then I just hit those with my finger. Easier. Go to brush. So your makeup goes all the way down. Now I do have this black thing here. The black that I did, I can blend that a little bit and go into, oops, knock the camera. Is that okay? avoid that. But I like what the black is doing here with the red, so I'm kind of leaving that. There, I want to pull it up. And I am going to do just a little bit more black, you're going to see in some other colors after I powder it. This is all mushy, so it could turn into mud real quick if you overworked it. Which I'm in danger of doing right now if I continue. But what I am going to do is, I just saw one thing I didn't like. And that's right here, I lost some of my detail. A little bit more in right there. Oh, so that showed up a little bit more. And now I'm going to powder that. To powder it, I use my neutral set powder. Alright, and I'm taking the powder puff, and I'm loading in my hand the powder into the powder puff. And I'm going to do that a couple times until I get a lot of powder on the puff. Now, I'm going to lightly pat it so that the powder is falling on my face. Very lightly. Now I'm going to do more powder into the puff. Once again, very lightly, just tapping it so the powder's falling onto my face and my neck. Okay, once that's done, I'm going to press that shit. I'm also looking to make sure not a lot of makeup is coming off onto the puff. It will around the eye because I didn't get much powder in there. Let's do a little more powder. Close my eyes before I do that. If you start to get makeup on there, move the pad and get some more powder on there. Make sure you get the neck real good. Okay, so you say, well, Alice, that looks okay, but you fucked it all up with a powder. Well, no, I didn't. I did. Now I muted it, so if you want that kind of dusty, kind of half whatever look, you're fine like that. But if you want to bring it back to life, you just kind of blot off the excess powder. Use a paper towel, and I'm going to dampen it. Okay, wet. That's too wet. Well, that's fine. I'll just do it. And I'm going to go in here, and I'm just going to remove the excess powder with the damp paper towel. And you see the color comes back, all the detail comes back, but the makeup has been set with the powder. And still, if you go touching and mushing in your face, it's still going to come off. But just wearing it, it's going to stay where it is. So that's that. And right off the excess water. But notice our color came back. All right, now, if I want to do any like really cool detail, like a cut or a wound on there, I'm going to go in with my tiny little brush. And I'm going to go in with the red. And I've got a little bit of alcohol. You use that kind of rubbing alcohol. Just dip your brush. You know, you can pour some off into the cap. Dip your brush in there. Get it into the makeup. And it will thin down the makeup almost like a watercolor. And like, I'm going to put like kind of a gash kind of thing. I know you said no gore, but you can have a little bit, right? That's good. In my forehead there. Just that. I'm going to give myself a little herpiness around my nose. Just put some red on top of that black. And then I'll give myself some herpiness. This is a little grosser, you know? I know you said not gory, but bear with me. You don't have to do this part. But you can just kick up your reds a little bit by putting them on top of the powdered makeup. Just for fun. It's a stylistic type thing. I'm doing a little extra modeling just right here on the side. I'm also going to do some on this cheek, just to kind of balance out the forehead thing, just for fun. Only some lines coming up here. There. I love it. Just for some nails here.
Welcome to the Black School.
I'm just having fun right now. Cool. Now I'm going to take my black, which I was using a pencil, so I'll continue using the pencil. I'm just going to sketch along the outside of that.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Cool. A little bit in there. A little bit around the herpy area. Nose herpy area. Some dots. Another touch in here, a little bit with some black. Accentuate that. Because I really like it. I want it to stand out. So that's pretty cool. I'm kind of happy with that. Now, if I really want that to stay, let's see, what do I have here? If you didn't go out and buy the really expensive Final Seal, we got some Tresemme Super Hold Hairspray. Alright. So I'm going to take the hairspray, don't want to aim it at the camera, and make sure it's misting and not squirting. Okay, close your eyes, hold your breath. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I kind of missed. Get the neck. This is an old newscaster trick. They used to spray their necks after their makeup so the makeup didn't get on their collars. It's also a cross-dressing trick. The trannies will spray their makeup down. Nice. All right. Now, one other thing that you can do, I don't have baby powder with me. If you got your costumes and stuff, you want to go ahead and just get some baby powder, and you, or cornstarch or flour or whatever, and you do your jackets and your costumes like that so it looks all ratty. And you take your hair down, you can gel it. I'm not going to gel it, but you know, I'm good. So, no real blood, no prosthetics. It's a kind of cool looking makeup though. I think it works. Now, if you want to make her look prettier, you do the same thing around the eyes. Use a lighter brown or just use the red and have her do like black smoky eyes and eyelashes and have her do her lips normal, and that'll make her look more attractive. It's still the same makeup overall. The contour of the temple, the cheeks, the forehead, the neck. That's a big thing. The nose, obviously, that's kind of gross. If you have any questions, feel free to email me or call me. The other main thing to do is don't just wait till Halloween night to do this. Practice it on yourself. Just like do half a face or half a face on her first. And then on you, decide what you like, what you don't like. You'll get the techniques down. And then once you get all that done, you'll be all set. It's easy. It's off to Halloween time. Woohoo! All right. Well, I hope you like that. Bye. Oh, let me see if I can do this. I don't even know where I am in the frame. So you can see it in HD. Take a look. And you know, nothing was crazy. I didn't have to have super straight hands, super straight lines or anything like that. It was all basically done with a lot of tapping and mushy stuff. It's good. Where's my MySpace photo thing? I'll see you, man. Bye.